in our community, we don't talk about mental health. It gets swept under the rug.
Following is cool, but I'd rather have a few thousand followers than 50,000 followers who's not going to buy into the value of the content that I'm putting in, who's not going to buy my merchandise and products and services. I'd rather have a guaranteed 2,000 that's going to buy my stuff than 50,000 that's just sitting there thinking my stuff is cute.
It's always about what you're putting out. If you're your true self, that's how you get followers. If you're your true self, you're not flossing, you're not doing the, I'm flossing out here, I'm making 6 figures, I'm making 7, and then, but it's really about what are you putting out there that can change somebody's life.
What is a contract?
I created the vision before it happened. So I want you to think about the vision of your book. Don't just see yourself.
Understand that being an entrepreneur is about being a business in today's world.
With diabetes, I care more about your story when you come at me like that. How many of you all agree? Lead with your story.
Thank you for sharing, Jeremy. So my name is Abraham Scully. I speak on mental health. And so I was diagnosed with Major Depressive Disorder during my freshman year of college. I'm now 29 days away from graduating from college. I speak on breaking the barriers between mental illness and professional help seeking for college students. My question is, how do you remain the expert, and what do you do to sharpen your expertise?
So for one, I wouldn't limit yourself just to that college student. I would just say I'm a mental health expert for this new generation, for millennials. You know what I'm saying? So now whether they elementary, middle, high school, or college, young adults, they reaching out to you. So I would say as many conferences, as many books, read them, take notes, and kind of make it your own. Because ain't nothing new under the sun, y'all.
We are reporting live from the Social Proof Conference. We were over here talking about mind, body, spirit, mental health, of course, because that's what we talk about. But I wanted to share a little bit about what you're doing, your journey, and how you got into what you're doing right now with mind, body, spirit.
Through being the black sheep of the family, I was led to study a little more into the world around us and finding out things from conspiracy theories to our programming and conditioning, which led to me wanting to find a solution on how I can apply what I know in a way that is going to be beneficial to the collective. Mm-hmm. So with that, I decided to start on my health, my mental health, and my physical health through what I eat. So from there, I realized how much...
What kind of diet do you follow?
I follow mostly closely to Dr. Sebi. I don't like, and I don't like to use blanket terms because sometimes it leads to a connotation.
Yeah.
But the goal is no meat.
Yeah.
There's no meat, no dairy. It's hard. You can do 80-20. It's hard. 80-20 might be easier.
Maybe you can give us a tip on how to make that transition.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I blog I basically journal my journey.
Love it.
On my Instagram stories and my Instagram, Live, Laugh, Love, and basically show how the 80-20 looks, because as myself, I'm also learning how to overcome the temptations and wanting to revert back into our habits and what comes natural already to us. So through that, I have adopted a new lifestyle, but I do fall into the cracks due to convenience and what might be around, but I show how you can still make healthy choices in a toxic environment.
So give us like the tip for someone who's on the edge of going vegan or following that type of diet, but they're struggling because maybe like you, in the culture they were raised in, all they ate was cochina, chorizo,
empanadas,
all these different stuff. But they want to make the transition because they know how beneficial it'll be for their physical health, mental health, spiritual health, everything.
Yes.
What's one tip that can help them to make that transition?
I would suggest make pick one day out of the week where you're gonna go all in, no excuses. See how you feel. Document how you feel at the beginning of that day, how you feel at the end of that day. And if you want to go a little harder, do the full 5-day week. And make your weekend the cheat if you want to do it that way.
Yeah.
But pay attention to how you feel. Very important to pay attention how you feel after eating, because usually we eat till we feel full and sleepy. Pay attention to how you feel and how it makes you produce throughout your day.
Love it, love it. So that tip, all right, Maddie. So that tip was for you guys. I don't know if I can follow that tip because meat is just too good, but I will try. I will make an effort.
At least one day.
Let's get it. We're talking about mental health. This is blog number 6. I think it's 16 today. Let's get it. Appreciate
Nice.
Ready?
Yeah, ready.
Okay. So what you're gonna do is a transition phase kind of thing. So you're gonna put a little bit more personal stuff on your brand page, right? You have to do, if you're going to try to have other people, you're going to state that you are the interviewer, tag your personal page. The interviewer, then the person who's being interviewed there. So you're tagging yourself and you're tagging the person who's doing it. So you can still do both.
When I started going through therapy, and I started sharing that with my parents
About therapy?
about therapy, they were like,
Yeah, me too. I had that
why?
too. Yeah.
And then I started taking antidepressants. And that was like, okay, you've gone too far.
I actually kept that away from my parents for a while.
I did too.
Yeah.
But I finally got to a point where I did, and then that became an issue. So then I had to talk about that in therapy. And then that's where I learned to set boundaries. So setting boundaries with my parents, that was a foreign concept to me. But I learned that it was something that was necessary. Not in a bad way, but hey mom, this is something as an adult that I've decided that I need to do to get help for myself. And it's okay if you don't understand and you don't agree, but this is what I feel I have to do. So if you're uncomfortable with talking about it, we don't have to talk about it. Let's talk about something else. And I learned that I just could not talk to my mom about therapy, about depression, about medication. And the way that I finally did, because we can speak about it now, but it got deeper. Things got worse for me. And I was in therapy. She said, let's call your husband. I was at a point where she made me volunteer to be admitted to a psychiatric hospital, or she was going to call. So I said, I'll go.
Yeah.
I'll go. And it was one of the scariest experiences of my life.
Being there.
Because you can't get out. And you have someone telling you, based off my conversation with you and where you are, I can legally hold you here for at least 72 hours.
Wow.
And you can get out when I deem that you're ready. That's where I was at. And that's where I was diagnosed with major depression and bipolar 2.
So differentiate for me bipolar 1 and bipolar 2.
Yes, so, and I'm so glad that you asked that because so many people
need to know.
Yeah. And people just use that word so...
You're bipolar.
You're bipolar, yeah.
You're acting bipolar today.
Yes, or for them it just means you're crazy one moment, you're not crazy the next moment. That used to be the split personality, but they've sort of changed the terminology. So bipolar in and of itself is about highs and lows. You can be manic 1 minute and depressed the next. With bipolar 1 disorder, it's a little more erratic. So people might spend a bunch of money that they don't have, go take a trip out of the blue. They have lots of energy, they talk really fast, they feel like they can do everything, and then they get really, really low. It's super depressed. So with bipolar 2, it's not as not as high, but can still be as low.
Gotcha.
If that makes any sense. So when I was hospitalized is when I was diagnosed. I was put on what seemed like every medication you could imagine. And I can remember being so out of it and receiving phone calls from my parents and them not being able to understand what I was saying. So in my mind, I'm talking regularly, but in actuality, I'm slurring because I was on so many different medications. And as time went on in the hospital, I sort of start to adjust. But being in there is when my parents were like, wow.
Let's take this serious.
Let's take this serious. Then all of a sudden, oh yeah, you have 2 first cousins who also have bipolar. And I'm like, really?
Wait, they said that to you?
Yes.
Afterwards?
Now all of a sudden all this information comes out that people know. But in our community, we don't talk about mental health. It gets swept under the rug. So I'm like, once I'm conscious, of course, wow, nobody said anything. I felt like I was crazy. I felt like I was the only one. I could have had people that I could have talked to that maybe would have understood what I was going through. So it wasn't until after I came out that it was more acceptable to talk about what I was going through or the medication. I wasn't feeling well. I started getting worse on the medication. I started hallucinating. And I got to a point where I couldn't work because I was hallucinating so much. I was hearing voices in my head, and that had never happened before. I felt like someone was scratching on my brain. That had never happened before. I started seeing my necklace swing this way. I started seeing people who weren't there. I distinctly remember one night watching TV in bed with my husband. The lights are on, and I'm freaking out because I see a man standing in the doorway. Bedroom door is closed.
That's not your husband.
That's not my husband. I see him clear as day. And my husband's like, there's nobody there. I started feeling pain that I had never felt. I feel it was due to the medication.
What's good? So as speakers, let's talk about
Destiny Inspire.
Yep. What's your Instagram? Both of you guys.
At Destiny_Inspire.
At Truly Inspired Martin.
Let's get it. All right. So as a speaker, pursuing what we're passionate about,
Right.
what are some of the challenges as we're growing our business, we're scaling, we're getting these engagements, and we're making it happen? What are some challenges?
So some challenges that I've personally faced as I'm getting there trying to scale is we talked about it earlier, and David even said, put yourself out there, just do it. So one of the biggest challenges is just jumping out there and doing it anyway. Still putting out the content, still trying to get those leads, still trying to, speak and inspire people. You may not have the equipment that you need. You may not have the outlet that you need or the opportunities, but not letting that limit you. So don't limit yourself by what you think is limiting you.
I can say I think that one of the biggest challenges that we face is our foundation not being right. And when I say foundation, I'm talking about internally. A lot of us are inspiring other people, we're helping other people, but the inside ain't right? Like, we got stuff that we face too, and who's gonna be there to help us when we're in those trenches, right? But I think that it's important to be transparent with people, and I think one of my biggest challenges was always feeling like I had to be perfect. Like, always feeling like they're depending on me, now what? Like, I can't tell y'all that sometimes I deal with depression. I can't tell y'all that I deal with anxiety, but I now know that there's freedom in my transparency. So I think that one of the biggest things that we face is just being authentically who we are, and just knowing that whatever you're going through in that moment is what's going to free people.
Inner work, because sometimes my inner me is my enemy.
Woo!
So when we're not.
Hold on, wait.
Somebody grab a notepad.
Hold on, sis.
My inner me is sometimes my enemy.
Whew.
So it's a constant battle within yourself to deal with the things that you have not uncovered. A chapter in my book, chapter 2, is called Uncover to Discover, Discovering Destiny. Yes, to get the book, Discovering Destiny, a 31-day guide to finding yourself and fulfilling your purpose. So Uncover to Discover is going in, doing that inner work, dealing with the things that you have to deal with in order for you to be transparent. Because I can't be transparent with it if I'm not dealing with it.
Absolutely.
So until I deal with it, then I can be transparent and tell you, hey, I struggle with this.
Right.
Because I've addressed it, I've uncovered it, and because I'm self-aware. So self-awareness is key, it's essential.
It's called Suppression Causes Depression. It's a chapter called Suppression Causes Depression, and that came from a point in my life where I was suppressing everything that I was going through.
Right.
And I didn't feel like I could be transparent. And I think mental health is so key, because if this ain't together, nothing matters. I don't feel like you can get the best career. I don't feel like you can be up here speaking if you can't really be transparent with yourself and be free in who you are. If I didn't free myself first, I don't think I'd be able to be who I am, right? You want to be truly inspired, but how you not truly inspiring yourself to be who you're supposed to be?
True to yourself to truly inspire someone else.
So talk to me.
And that there's no such thing as perfection. There's no such thing as I gotta have it all together. That person wants to know that you don't got your shit together.
And it's that
Straight
level
up.
of accountability, because if I am expressing to you that I'm dealing with something right now, or I'm struggling to grow through it, and you know that, it's accountability. For one, I need some private one-on-one, so you can catch me on my website, destinyinspire.com, or all my social media handles at destinyinspire. I do group coaching for women. I do one-on-one coaching. And if by chance you need me to come and empower, impact, and inspire the women in your life, I am also known as the Empowerment Juggernaut. Juggernaut is a huge, overwhelming, powerful force, crushing anything in its path. I'm helping you crush everything that's in your path, from keeping you from discovering your identity and walking your true purpose. Destiny Inspire on all platforms of social media.
Boom.
That's all I got.
To understand that there's a journey that you take through life, and it's a journey to restore, reset, and reclaim. And I think our teen girls and our millennial women don't even understand that there is beauty in your brokenness, and that when you are broken, you can be repaired. And that even though you're going through, you can still grow through it. So, just in case, just in case you're looking to be truly inspired, you can book me at booking@itstrulyinspiredmartin.com. I am looking to come inspire your teen girls to love themselves beyond measures, and to really understand who they are as a woman, to really understand what it means to restore, reset, and reclaim the woman that you're supposed to be. Truly out.